Ever find yourself stuck, staring at a menu, unable to decide between two dishes? Or maybe you've spent hours agonizing over a simple decision, like what to wear or which email to respond to first. What if I told you that this isn't just indecision? It's anxiety at work, making even the smallest choices feel overwhelming? Today, we're going to uncover how anxiety complicates decision-making, and more importantly, how you can take back control and make choices with confidence. 1. Understanding the connection between anxiety and decision-making. Let's start with why decision-making can be so hard when anxiety is involved. Anxiety thrives on uncertainty, and decisions, big or small, are filled with uncertainty. What if I make the wrong choice? What if I regret this later? These what-ifs can spiral into a loop of overthinking, making even the simplest decision feel monumental. When you're anxious, your brain tends to focus on potential negatives. It's like having an internal critic constantly pointing out what could go wrong. This can make it difficult to weigh options clearly and choose the best path forward. 2. The impact of decision fatigue. Have you ever noticed that making decisions feels harder at the end of the day? That's because of something called decision fatigue. Throughout the day, you make hundreds of decisions, from what to eat for breakfast to how to respond to a text message. Each decision takes mental energy, and by the end of the day, your brain is tired. For those with anxiety, decision fatigue can hit even harder, making it feel impossible to make even the smallest choice. Decision fatigue doesn't just make you feel tired, it also increases anxiety. When you're mentally exhausted, your ability to handle uncertainty decreases, leading to more overthinking and stress. 3. Simplifying your decision-making process. Now that we understand why decision-making can be so challenging, let's talk about strategies to simplify the process. The goal here is to reduce the mental load and minimize the anxiety that comes with making choices. Limit your options. One of the simplest ways to reduce anxiety around decision-making is to limit your options. When faced with too many choices, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Try to narrow your choices down to 2 or 3 options. For example, if you're shopping for a new outfit, choose between 2 colors instead of 20. This makes the decision process more manageable. Set a time limit. If you tend to overthink your decisions, setting a time limit can be incredibly helpful. Give yourself a specific amount of time to make a decision, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour, and stick to it. This prevents you from getting stuck in an endless loop of what-ifs and forces you to make a choice within a reasonable time frame. Prioritize decisions. Not all decisions are created equal. Some choices are more important than others. Learning to prioritize your decisions can help you focus your energy on what really matters. For example, deciding what to have for lunch shouldn't take up as much mental energy as deciding whether to take a new job. By identifying which decisions are most important, you can save your mental energy for when you really need it. 4. Techniques to manage decision-related anxiety. Even with a simplified decision-making process, anxiety can still creep in. Here are some techniques to help you manage anxiety when it comes to making choices. Mindful decision-making. Mindfulness is about staying present in the moment. When you're faced with a decision, try to focus on the here and now rather than getting caught up in future worries. Take a deep breath, consider your options, and make a choice based on the information you have right now. Remember, you can't predict the future, but you can make the best decision possible with the knowledge you have. Accepting imperfection. One of the biggest sources of anxiety around decision-making is the fear of making the wrong choice. But here's the thing. No decision is perfect. Every choice has its pros and cons, and that's okay. Instead of striving for perfection, aim to make a good enough decision. Accept that you might not always get it right, but you can always learn and adjust as needed. Self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when making decisions. Anxiety can make you doubt yourself, but it's important to remember that you're doing the best you can. If you make a decision that doesn't work out, treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend. Remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes and that each decision is an opportunity to learn and grow. 5. Practical tips for everyday decision-making. Let's get into some practical tips you can use in your daily life to make decision-making easier and less anxiety-inducing. Create routines. Routines can significantly reduce the number of decisions you need to make each day. For example, having a set morning routine means you don't have to decide what to do when you wake up. It's already planned out. This frees up mental space for more important decisions later in the day. Use a decision-making checklist. A checklist can be a helpful tool when making decisions, especially for more complex choices. Write down the pros and cons of each option, and use this list to guide your decision. Seeing your thoughts on paper can make the decision feel less overwhelming and help you approach it more logically. Delegate decisions. If possible, delegate less important decisions to others. For example, if you're overwhelmed with work, delegate tasks to a colleague or ask a friend for advice on a decision you're struggling with. This can help reduce your mental load and make it easier to focus on the decisions that really matter. Trust your gut. Sometimes, your first instinct is the best guide. If you're feeling particularly anxious about a decision, try trusting your gut. Often, our intuition can guide us in the right direction without overthinking. This doesn't mean ignoring logic, but rather listening to your inner voice when you feel stuck. Segment 6. Long-term strategies for reducing decision anxiety. In addition to these immediate tips, it's important to think about long-term strategies for reducing decision-related anxiety. Over time, these strategies can help you build confidence in your decision-making abilities. Practice decision-making. Like any skill, decision-making gets easier with practice. Start by making small decisions quickly and without overthinking. As you build confidence, gradually tackle more significant decisions. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become with making choices, even when anxiety is involved. Reflect on past decisions. Take some time to reflect on past decisions you've made. What went well? What didn't? By analyzing your past choices, you can learn from your experiences and apply these lessons to future decisions. This reflection can also help you see that even decisions that didn't turn out perfectly were valuable learning opportunities. Seek professional support. If decision-making anxiety is significantly impacting your life, consider seeking support from a therapist or counselor. They can help you explore the underlying causes of your anxiety and work with you to develop strategies for managing it. Therapy can provide valuable insights and tools that can make decision-making less daunting. 7. The power of taking action. One of the most important things to remember when it comes to decision-making is the power of taking action. Anxiety thrives on inaction. When you're stuck in a loop of overthinking, it's easy to become paralyzed by fear. But taking action, even if it's just a small step, can help break this cycle. Start small. If a decision feels overwhelming, break it down into smaller steps. For example, if you're deciding whether to apply for a new job, start by updating your resume. Then look at job listings. Taking these small steps can help you build momentum and make the larger decision feel more manageable. Embrace imperfection. Remember that no decision is perfect. Once you've made a choice, commit to it and move forward. If things don't work out as planned, you can always make adjustments. The key is to keep moving forward, learning from your experiences, and trusting yourself. Anxiety might make decision-making feel overwhelming, but by simplifying your choices and using the strategies we've discussed today, you can take back control. Remember, it's okay to feel anxious, but it doesn't have to stop you from making confident decisions in your daily life. So next time you're faced with a choice, big or small, take a deep breath, use these tools, and trust that you can handle it. The more you practice, the easier it will become. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Let's continue to support each other in managing anxiety and making choices that lead to a happier, more fulfilled life.